Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to give a word of encouragement in relation to having faith in God. This is going to be a story time of a testimony that I have in relation to having faith in God and believing for a home. Now, if you're believing for a home, this video is for you. It's to testify of the goodness of God. Now, a few years ago or more, I was believing for a home for my family and I. My husband and I were in apartment after apartment, um, living the life the way, the best way we could. And we decided, our family deserves and wants to be in a home. We wanted the typical home, the American dream of the picket fence in the backyard. And so we decided to start putting our funds together and try to come up with some way to purchase a home. Now, that's easier than it sounds, as we all know, because saving money in the economy is not an easy feat. You have bills, you have everyday cost of living, you have children. I think we had two children at the time, and you have school fees, you have car note, car going down, you got to pay for that, you got to pay for grocery, blah blah, everything, all of that. But we still wanted to have a home. The cost of it was going to be, a factor. Now you go to school. I had graduated college. I was working as a nurse at the time, and that doesn't mean a thing, guys. Still didn't have any money. I went to school, I graduated, I was working 40 hours a week, and still couldn't save anything. I mean, if I could save $50 a month, I was doing good. So we decided, going the natural way of trying to save was not happening. So we got together and we started praying about God helping us to find a home, to find a way to afford it, and the cost, and how are we going to do it. Credit score, my credit score was awful. My husband's credit score was even worse. I think mine was, I'm going to say, about 5 something. I know it wasn't 6 yet, so it was really down in there. I was working 40 hours a week and still, couldn't save anything. So anyway, I did what America said. You go to school, you get a job, and therefore you're going to be able to afford these things. But it wasn't looking like that. So we were praying about it. We were praying about it on a weekly basis. Every day, every Sunday, we went to church. That was our major prayer. Lord, help us find a home for our family. We were tired of living in apartments. And one year I thought we were going to renew our lease on our apartment, and our lease was denied renewal. And I didn't even know that was a possibility. I figured, well, if you're paying your rent every month, they're going to renew your lease. No, they didn't renew our lease because we were late paying every month. We paid it, but we didn't pay it on the first every month, like of course they wanted. So we end up having to live with in-laws. We were living with his mom. We were living with my mom. We were living with whoever would let us live with them, because we basically were trying to afford this home. And we were praying about it, like I said, every Sunday, every night. I'm like, Lord, bless us with a home. So even though the credit was awful, I wasn't even able to save $50 a month. Car breakdown, I have to take money to go do that. One night in prayer, I got direction from God. I finally learned to hear from God, and he told me to to believe for a home, put my faith on it. I'm okay, put my faith on, believe that I will bless you with it. So and the pastor was teaching on confessions. So I was making my confessions. I was believing God's going to bless us with the home. Everybody who asks me, God's going to bless us with the home. And I'm looking at myself, I'm looking at my husband like, how is he going to possibly do that when we don't have any money? But we kept believing. So I decided, they say faith without works is dead. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to call me an agent and I'm going to try to get this ball rolling. So I got in contact with the agent and she said, she ran my credit report. She told me what I already knew. Your credit is whack. You're going to have to build it up. You're going to have to clean this up. You're going to have to clean that up. And I went back to the Lord in prayer like, this is not looking very good. But I kept going because the only thing I kept hearing them say is believe me for it. So I'm trying to do every little thing she said do, make payment arrangements on my bills and do this and do that. Best I could, I'm making payment arrangements. So I managed to pay off within a few months or so. I managed to pay, not even off, I managed to get a payment arrangement on a couple of bills, and that kind of helped the credit score. And so one of the agents took us on some looking at some homes. I guess she was trying to encourage us to keep going. So we were looking at some homes and I found a couple that I liked, and every time she would write it up, they would tell me, your credit score is too low, you need to do this, you haven't had enough time on the job. Mind you, I had maybe a year or two on my job, not enough credit history. Every way we turned, guys, we were hitting a brick wall. Literally no doors were opening for us. Nothing was working out. So we went back to the drawing board. We got back trying to clear up this. My husband picked up more hours on his job. We're trying to clear this credit up. And we maybe paid off 2 bills of like 10 major bills on the credit report. We went out looking again. We went to the mortgage company and they denied us again. You're gonna have to put I think it was $10,000 down. They took, I think by then I was on my job another additional year, and they said that part was good, the longevity on the job, but you're gonna have to clear up this, and you know the whole rigmarole of trying to qualify for a mortgage. So we kept running into that. So the agent has said, well, is it any way you could come up with the $10,000, because I found another program that a mortgage company that will allow you to be possibly pre-qualified for a mortgage if you could come up with a down payment. And I'm like, down payment of $10,000? And I'm like, no, that's not even possible. So I went back in prayer about it. I'm fasting about it. I'm praying. I'm talking to God about it. And nothing new. He would just say, keep believing me for it. So one day in church, I decided I'm going to tithe on it. I'm going to put my faith on it. Lord, I'm believing you. I wrote out a tithe check. I think it was a couple of $100s or more, but that was like a couple of $1,000s in my mind because it was more than I could afford to give. But guys, that seemed to have moved the needle. We started looking at another home we had found. It was exactly the one I had wanted. It was in the neighborhood I had wanted to be in. It was the number of bedrooms I wanted to have. It was the cost I feel like I could afford on a monthly basis for it. And so she wrote it up and everything came out okay, minus we needed that $10,000. So I'm like, Lord, we need $10,000. This is my dream home. I want this home. And I didn't get anything in prayer, but I kept believing, God's going to help us. He said in his word, put your faith on it, believe me for it. Whatsoever things you desire, when you pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them. So I just kept confessing that we have this home. And so, guys, you won't believe this. You won't believe this. A friend of the family gave us $10,000 $10,000 to put on the home. Came out of nowhere. This person was not even around, wasn't even didn't even know they had this kind of money. They just came out of the woodworks. We happened to be at a family event or function. We need $10,000 to get this house, and they just gave us $10,000 out of nowhere. We ran to that mortgage closing and put that money down, and we got our home. God can make a way out of no way. Keep your faith. Don't quit. Put all your hope in God, and He will work it out. I don't care what it looks like. We didn't have $50 in the bank account of our own, and God came up with $10,000 to put down as a payment to that home. And we were in that home for years, raising our family. So guys, put your faith in God. Build your relationship with Him. Trust in Him. Don't do it the world's way. It doesn't work. They'll have you working 50 years and still can't afford your own home. Okay? So I hope that's the word of encouragement for you guys. Keep your faith up. Believe in God. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.